without slides, that's very disconcerting, but I have got a revolutionary Deborah. Bonjour. I don't actually speak French. My name's Danielle. I am a curator at the Museum of London. Anyone from the Museum of London here? They're just some people I hired to follow me around. I am a Capricorn. And it is Capricorn season, by the way, hello. And I am the museum's trade union branch chair. Anyone here from Prospect? These are the lovely people from Prospect Trade Union who have been shamelessly propagandising by handing out leaflets in the interval. We've come here with an agenda. So, I and an amazing team of reps, one of whom is here tonight. Where are you, Zay?
Hi.
For the avoidance of doubt, Zay is over there. We run a branch which represents actually more than half, so definitely the majority of Museum of London staff, and we're pretty active. We went out on strike recently, which I will get to in a minute. I know it's very exciting. Your chance. Anyway, what I want to talk to you a bit about tonight is why bother joining a trade union? Because, and forgive me, Mother, if you see this recording later on, but everything's a bit doesn't it? In the museum sector, why join a trade union? We were all paid so well, we have such amazing working conditions, job security, what's the point? Well, this is my own view, your mileage may vary. I strongly believe that we are better together. We got to look out for each other and we've got to look out for ourselves, because there sure as hell isn't anybody looking out for us otherwise. So joining a trade union, it does a few different things. Sorry, Sesame Street moment. Museums Showoff brought to you today with the number 3. As you can tell, I am not very well prepared. So joining a trade union does several things. One is solidarity. It's coming together as workers to have a collective voice. 2 is based off that collective bargaining, negotiation. We're stronger together. In our negotiations with our employers, if we are employed by an institution, we're better as one big voice, and as one little voice asking for more money, please. Please, sir, can I have some more? That didn't go well, did it? And the third thing is, honestly, it's just for shits and giggles, really, isn't it? It's just causing trouble, it's quite fun. No, it's about representation. The union represents you on a collective level. So, as I said, in employee negotiations, when it comes to things like pay and workers' agreements and conditions, but it also can represent you on an individual level. So if, for example, you have a dispute with your employer, the union is there to sit in with you in meetings to make sure basically the procedure's followed and you're not being shafted, and to basically make sure that you are represented fairly and you're given a fair hearing, not discriminated against, not intimidated in the process. That said, let me just manage your expectations here. I mean, if you walk through the galleries of a museum swinging a baseball bat and going, "Get a raptor, this is in particular," you will be fired, and we can't stop that. Okay? We are not wizards. Well, I have, I'm clearly a wizard, but that's separate from the union thing. So the point, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to stop laughing. So the whole point of joining the union is, as I said, that you're stronger as part of a whole than as an individual. That's the whole premise of the trade union movement. And just think about some of the workers' rights that we take for granted that actually we wouldn't have without trade union lobbying and industrial action in the past. I mean, the right to take paid holiday leave. We take that for granted. Like, of course you're going to get paid leave. We look at America, where there's no kind of mandatory federal regulation saying you have to pay people when they go on leave. And they're but we've only had legally mandated paid workers' leave since 1938. That's not that long ago. Trade unions themselves have only been fully legal since 1871. Now, you think, well, trade unions today, are they that powerful? Can they really do much? Well, there wouldn't be a barrage of legislation controlling what unions can and can't do and mandating the process that has to be followed in order to go on strike if those in power weren't actually pretty terrified of what unions are capable of. Now, it's true that over the years, since the Prime Ministership of Margaret Thatcher, sorry, I had something awful at the back of my throat. Since the Premiership of the laws dictating what trade unions can and can't do have got ever tighter, and to a certain extent I think that has led to a degree of complacency. What's the point of joining a union? What's it really going to change? Well, I was thinking that at first, and I was thinking, how much change can we actually engender here? Maybe we'll get an extra 0.5% in our pay offer this year. Like, well, that's my train ticket to Brighton for the weekend. And then in our ongoing negotiation process, which I am not at liberty to speak in detail about. Bonjour. We had a negotiating meeting just before Christmas, and I came out of it thinking, well, we might have squeezed a few little concessions, but nothing major, nothing really changes. I came back after Christmas, the head of HR resigned. I had people coming to me in my office going, what did you do? Don't know, it was nice. Anyway, so we are, as I said, in the middle of pay negotiations, and we went on strike back in October. And I know we are not the only museum who's been on strike recently. Anyone here from the Science Museum? Woo! Science Museum, second row, ladies and gentlemen, private cheap seats. I think you managed to get more money out of them than we've managed to get out of ours, but we're working on it. So we had strike on the 24th of October, and in half-term, deliberately to cause maximum disruption. When this was suggested to some of our members, there were people going, it's going to be awfully disruptive if it's in half-term. Yes, that's the point. Really the point. But the thing is, in all seriousness, asking people to go out and strike is not, it's not the first line of action. It's actually an action of last resort if you cannot reach a negotiated solution. Because realistically, you go out and strike, you're asking people to give up a day or a half day's pay. Now, for some people, maybe they can afford to absorb that loss, but for a lot of people, especially for our visitor hosts, our shop workers, a day or even half a day's pay, that's a lot of money. That's a big chunk out of your income. And we cannot take it for granted that we can just be walking out on strike every week. So we had to really calculate very seriously, are we actually going to get anything out of this? Is this going to have an impact? We decided we had to do it because we had for the best part of, I think, 5 years prior, every pay agreement that had basically been imposed on us, kind of below inflation, here's your 1% or your 1.5%, we kind of rolled over and accepted it. I say we, I was not running the union at that point. So we thought we have to make a stand. Even if it doesn't do anything in the short term, we have to play the long game, because even if it doesn't do anything this year, what about next? What about the year after? What kind of message are we sending if we don't stand up and get out there? So we were standing there for some of my colleagues in the pissing rain at Docklands. There was no point making placards because they just got completely soaked. And it was the politest strike I've ever seen in my life. You think strike, industrial action, you think the miners, you think Orgreave, shouting, police horses, batons, and I tried, I really did. But I was given a megaphone. It was amazing, but I had to give it back at the end of the day. But it was very polite, very civil. We had the public on side. And, I was getting people going, I had my megaphone, doing some chants, like, are they, conservation here, woo! Our visitor services here, woo! Are the shop staff here, woo! Are the curators here? Oh, yeah. Very good, yeah. So polite. Anyway, I also suggested that we accession some of the signs. I was told, no, Danielle, we're not going to accession the signs from the strike. Nonetheless, we are still in a process of negotiation. We haven't given up, and we are going to get a better pay deal for our branch, whether it's this year or next. And so I will finish by saying, up the workers.